will be breaking down probably the most important fight card of my lifetime. We will be breaking down Burns versus Mallott. Guys, this card is actually unbelievably so stacked. It's kind of hard. It's like my anticipation levels are so high, especially for a fight night. Like, guys, this is in a packed arena. This should be so exciting. I truly can't wait for these fights. Let's start off with, and honestly, these are some of the biggest fights of the year. And I think a lot of people aren't talking about that. Most people are saying these are some of the worst fights. This is the worst fight card maybe of all time. I think that's a joke. Okay, I think whenever you got a guy like Jamie Siraj on the card, okay, it's hard to say that it's going to be a bad card, especially him opening up the night. Guys, this is stuff that UFC 300 couldn't even replicate. A guy with a 0-0 record having his UFC debut to open up the night is really some legendary stuff. Okay, starting off with Jamie Siraj versus John Giannis. These are two guys. All right, John Giannis, legend of the game. Okay, he almost fought for the belt about 3 or 4 times at the start of his career. He looks like he can bench maybe a solid 185 pounds. I'm really a huge fan of his. I know he's lost his first fight in the UFC, but I don't care. This fight is huge for the bantamweight division. I actually think this is make or break O'Malley's next fight. I think the winner of this fight is going to get O'Malley, okay? And honestly, give me Giannis by round 2 knockout, okay? He's going to put him out early. All right, this is, I can't believe we're even opening up the card with that. But let's go on to the next fight of the evening. We have John Castaneda versus Mark Vologden. Guys, this is a fight that we've been waiting for years, and we're getting, oh wait, I actually like this guy. Vologden's a dog, dude. Vologden's an animal. Dude, shout out Vologden. I love this guy. He was an animal. Wow, why do they have him on the freaking prelims? That sucks. I love this guy. Dude, he had a freaking war in his Contender Series fight. Oh my gosh. Dude, that was a banger fight. But he's going up against the Marauder, John Castaneda. Give me John Castaneda by decision. Vologden, he's a little bit too short. He's 5'3" at 135. He's got a stocky build, but I don't know if he's going to be able to flick those jabs the way he did before. And guys, on to the next shocking fight of the night. We have J.J. Aldrich going up against Jamie Lynn Horth. Okay, we have the Canadian versus the American matchup. We have a lot of those matchups on the card. I heard this fight will decide how the tariffs are going to go between the United States and Canada. The Canadian Prime Minister and Donald Trump have gotten the phone. They agreed that this will be the fight that decides how much the tariffs limits are. So it looks like, in my opinion, the Canadians are going to win the tariff battle. No. Yeah, give me Jamie Lee Horth by decision. J.J. Aldrich, although she might be ranked, she's whatever. So going on to the next fight, we have another female banger. We have Melissa Croden versus Daria Zelinsky-Akova. Okay, now we have the Canadian versus Russian mashup. Okay, looks like Big Z has had some PS plastic surgery done before, but we respect it in the fight game here. Going up against the Canadian sensation, Melissa Croden. Melissa's nasty on the feet. Give me Melissa by fake boob exploding TKO in round 2. Next fight, we got Tanner Bosner versus Gokhan Sarkam. That is a fake name. That is not a real person. He might be fighting from Belgium, but he's not actually fighting. This is why we go Tanner Boser for round 2 KO. Julian LeBlanc versus Robert Valentine. Are we sure that Robert Valentine isn't hiding any other symbols on his body? We can't be too sure. Okay, he is on a 2-fight losing streak, but this is the fight of the year. Okay, Julian LeBlanc, although he might not be rendered into the UFC website, is huge for this middleweight division. Okay, Robert Valentine is going to get a takedown early, and he's going to get that sub. That's into the prelims. Going on to the main card. Oh, is this the headlining the prelims? I thought this was on the main card. I could be wrong. Maybe I don't know ball. Okay, starting off the main card, we have Dennis Bazooka versus Marcio Barboza. Barbozi, Dana White Contender Series alum, legend of the game. I'm actually going to go with the craziest upset pick of all time. Give me Dennis Bazooka by decision. Okay, I just need to see a little bit more out of Barbozi. All right, going on to the main card, we have Diego Moises versus Gage Young. Like Taego, he's kind of a win-loss fighter his whole career. Gay Jung, I know that President Trump said that he's actually going to be the next one to hold the lightweight belt. I know he made a big announcement about that and how he really wanted Gay Jung fighting on the White House and how that he thought, he could honestly be the truth to world peace. But honestly, he's moved that over to Paulo Costa. He called him hot 4 different times. So I think it's really important that Gay Jung is kind of in his feelings in this fight. We don't know how he's going to react after President Trump decided to not call Gage Jung the most attractive UFC fighter anymore. That's going to be tough on Gage's mentality going into the fight. And that's why I'm going to go with Thiago. This is where we're going to go with Moises by decision. All right. Going on to the next fight of the night, we have Jasmine Jadagufas versus Karine Silva. There's actually another women's flyweight named Karine Silva. She's an absolute dog, but this one isn't that one. So we're going to go with Jadagufas by decision. Okay, on to the next fight. We have Mandel Nalo versus Jai Herbert, the guy who knocked down Ilia Topuria that one time. And if I know anything, Ilia Topuria is a top 5 fighter on the face of the planet. So I believe that Jai Herbert is going to be able to knock him out in round 2 by head kick. Okay, going on to the next fight, we have Kyler Phillips versus Charles Jourdain. Kyler Phillips coming off a pretty bad loss in his last fight, and Charles Jourdain going for a skinhead in prison look. I don't know if he actually did. Please don't come to my house, Charles Jourdain. I want to make that clear. But Kyler Phillips, obviously a legend of the game, against Charles Jourdain, both 30 years old. Again, U.S. versus Canada. Honestly, this could be fight of the night, but I think Charles Jourdain is going to be able to put him out by decision. Don't think he gets the finish. I think Kyler Phillips has one decent fight left in him. And finally, the fight of the year. Honestly, the fight of the decade. We have Gilbert Burns coming off his illustrious 4-fight losing streak. Although they were good fights. I mean, they were against good fighters. Like, let's be for real. Like, is Burns that washed? Wow, it looks like they've already taken off his picture off the UFC website. That's a problem. He's going to be going up against, he fought Michael Morales, first round loss. Sean Brady, I didn't watch that fight. And JDM, he got KO'd in the 3rd round. And then he lost the GOAT, Bilal Muhammad. The only person he's actually beat is Jorge Masvidal, who just drinks on a podcast now and threatens to fight Conor McGregor every other week. Against Mike Mallott, a guy who's a Neil Magny victim. Charles Radke, he beat Neil Magny victim. It was hard. I honestly kind of want to pick Gilbert Burns by sub. I do, but I think Gilbert wins early. He gets a good takedown, and Mike Mallott is going to show off. Why does it say he's from America? Mike Mallott is from Canada. He's from Canada, okay? Mike Mallott is going to show his Canadian spirit. I don't know what they call it. He's going to show the Canadian spirit, okay? The guerrero, the spirit of the fighter. And he's going to be able to put out Gilbert Burns in an all-out war in round 4, sending Gilbert Burns to the retirement home and collecting his Social Security checks. Anyways, guys, that is my fight night predictions for UFC Fight Night Burns versus Mallott. Normally, my videos don't really feel like this. Normally, they're a lot less serious because we don't have as consequential of fights that are going down during them. But anyways, guys, these are huge fights this weekend. Really excited to watch them, especially the one that will decide the tariff war between the United States and Canada, which will be J.J. Aldrich versus Jamie Lynn Horth. All right, see you guys later.